just gonna. Okay.
Okay.
So
I see if someone like
no worries.
yeah.
No worries. We'll find a way around it. Okay, so um yeah, so you have to create another project, or we can use any of the projects that we've done. Create for activities and make sure you name the activities. So I think I have, and then the project should have at least 5 WBSs and at least 4 activities in each WBS. Wait, is it the same one? No, 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 no,
Yeah,
no, no.
I'm
No,
looking
no,
at
it's
it.
not
That
the.
was
No, no, no.
last week.
No, no. Yeah, I'm trying to see. Wait, where did I write the assignment? I'm trying to see. Oh no, I don't have the assignment here. Does anyone have the assignment? I think I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No. Uh, I think I thought okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, this is it. Take any projects that you have worked on, apply different constraints that you think, see the effects, and you will discuss why you apply the constraints and what impact they have on the project. Then it says create 3 filters on your project. So this was the assignment that you gave.
Yes.
So sorry for the delay. I had used the notepad. I hope everybody was able to do the assignment though, because I know that I wrote it, but I think I forgot to post it on the group. So I hope everybody got the assignment anyways.
Well,
So
nobody complains
yeah,
saying they've not done it. So I hope everyone has done it.
yeah. So here we go. Now let me start with the filters. So I created 3 different filters.
Okay.
So these are the filters that I created. So to filter by activity ID. So basically this filter will display only the items that have these activity IDs.
Okay.
So if I apply this filter, this is what I will get.
Good stuff.
So now I filtered based on calendar.
Okay.
So now only activities that are, so I believe the only activities that are under Daniel New, that the calendars are Daniel New, will be displayed. So if, let's say for instance, I don't know, I was just playing around with it anyway.
Yeah, it's good.
I'm not sure. Yeah, so but only activities that are under Daniel New will be displayed. So for instance, let me see. I don't, so I think that will be only in the project view, but let me just apply it and see. Let me just apply it and see. Okay, so nothing is displayed here because nothing is under Daniel New.
Okay.
However, if I go to other projects, I'm not sure which project I have Daniel New again. Let me see. Okay, nothing here as well. I just want to see open projects. So I don't think I have any activity under that here. Let me just check my my JP Morgan financial tracking. I'm not sure if if I do, but if not, so nothing is here. But I mean, I'm sure we understand what it is. So I've not applied any calendar to. I've not applied that calendar to any project, anyways. So that's it. But I'll just edit that filter. I'll just go to the filter and then let's see. Activity filter. Okay. Calendar. Apply. Okay. So now, then another one. So I created a calendar for start date, but let me just close this and go back to the project that I was working on initially. So this is it. So, okay. So now, here's the project with so I have another one called start date. And then if I click on this and I apply, so let me first show what it is. Now, for the start date, for any any date that is greater than 22nd of September 2023. So this means that any activity that is starting before this date will not be displayed. All right. So if I click on this and then I apply, so now you would see here that the only thing showing, like the project starts, for instance, is not showing because it has been removed because it's not starting after that date. And then if I remove it, so if you look at the table here, if I remove it and I apply, everything shows. So 18th, all the ones for 18th of September. So that's about the filter.
That's good. Good. Because what I want to be able to, what I want you to be able to demonstrate is understanding the concept. So it shows that you've played around with it, you've understood the concept, and which is really, really good. It's really, really good that you understood all the concept, and which is good. Brilliant.
All right. So thank you. Now, take any of your projects you have worked on, apply different constraints that you think, see the effect, and you will discuss why you apply these constraints. So I applied constraints on, let me see. So from here, I applied some constraints here. So
can you click on the activity where you've applied the constraint?
Yeah, here it is. Create add campaigns. So I added mandatory finish.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to move my okay. So I added mandatory finish by 9th of January 2024. So basically, I mean, I just wanted to say, okay, like just for the whole concept of it, like, okay, so this great ad campaign, I wanted to ensure that it finishes by 9th of 9th of January, So this sort of expanded the like it gave like, there is now, let me show this. So it sort of affected, like the way my number one, the Gantt chart appears, and then it shows that, like here, you would see that there's a float, of like it stopped. So any activity before that date sort of has a float of 0.80 days. But after that, there's no float allowance again. Now, personally, for this constraint activity, I sort of understand how it works, but I still intend to, go over the previous video. I couldn't go over it because I had my school project to run. So because I'm doing my master's, so I had my school project and everything to submit. So I still need to go over that video, but I was able to understand, like if you had a constraint, what it does, and then like it shows that after these days, after like this particular day, all activities after they have to finish on the set dates that you've allocated, like on the date that you've mentioned, because there's no longer float or let's say allowance for any delay or any push. So any delay that is going to come after will sort of affect the whole essence of the project. So any float that we have, stops at this point. And then you would see here, so now it's sort of, because of the float, because of the constraint that I added, it affected my original duration. And then that's why I have 144.80 here. So if I remove this constraint, for instance, and I say none, and then I'm sorry, and I go to schedule, and then you would see that there is no longer a float here. So that means everything is back to like every activity has to finish on the date that, on the date that has been allocated to it. No allowance for, any delay or any float or whatsoever. So that's what I see that, that's how it impacted the project itself. So that's it from me. I don't know if you have anything to say or anything that I've missed.
Fantastic. I mean, the basic thing is to understand the concept, and you are able to apply the concept. So before you apply any constraint, you have to think of what the end product you want to achieve. The objective of saying you want something like, the last time I told you, let me just quickly ask you this question. What category of constraint is mandatory finish?
Mandatory finish. You mean when you say what category?
What category? I've given you two options.
I think they are
all soft.
They are.
No, I'm not asking you, please.
Okay.
I want to ask.
They are hard. Like
what type of constraint? What categories?
Hard constraint.
Okay, hard is an hard.
It's an hard constraint, so, because the activity must finish on that particular date. No excuse.
Yeah, is hard constraint, and to use as hard constraint, you have to be sure. I know you were trying to play around the constraint, but it's not a constraint that you just use for using sake. So, however, the concept is you understanding what you want to do and you applying, what you want to achieve by applying that. You understand? So sometimes constraints create floats, right? Sometimes constraints create float, because if I told you I need to roof a house, and I said, even though you would have finished the structure and everything by the 20th of October, but the roofing sheet won't be delivered until the 1st of November. So, and probably you can't do anything without a roofing sheet. You need to wait for the roofing sheet. That creates some floats for you. And even though if those set of activities are critical before, they will become, some of them before that day, they will become not critical because you have some days to play around with. But hard constraints would definitely force those activities onto the critical path. Those set of activities, maybe you have an activity and maybe it was normal logic, and you put a hard constraint. So the sequence of activity that is linked to that activity, you will force them onto the critical path. You will make them, because you said they must finish, and it will just suck up all the floats. And that's why when you use it, some of the activity that is linked to that activity becomes red. You noticed that, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you are saying they will definitely be done on that day. So, but the bottom line is you got the concept, and I'm happy about that. Right. Thank you.
So, Deji, question, please. Now, remember, so I used a mandatory finish, right? And every activity after. Now, is it because, when we're creating relationships and we created successor, as of now, all our activities are like linear relationship. Each activity follows each other, follows each other. So now, if we have activities, because all the activities are following, so everything now has like a hard stop, or like everything now has, is now a critical path, right? Now, so if we now add another constraint after, at some point, can it change the rest to, like no longer critical stop? I mean, so for instance, I'm just like an example now. Let's say I've added a mandatory finish in this activity here, and then everything before this place is green, and then everything after is red. But let's say after here, I now add another constraint. Can it change the rest and remove the critical path from the rest of the activities after that constraint? Like, so I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I understand. Like I said, when you're applying constraint, you don't just apply constraint. You apply constraint based on your objective. What do I want to achieve? So, and you don't apply constraint. What's this English? Discretionally.
Yeah.
You must apply constraint as a team, collaboratively. That's the word.
Yeah. So
everybody must agree, saying, okay, that constraint should be there. So why is that constraint? What do we need that constraint for? Why do we? That's why if you're working on any project, they will try as much as possible. If you can avoid constraint, they will tell you to avoid it, because it doesn't allow things to flow. You want this to be done, then followed by these, followed by these, followed by these, or these and these done at the same time, or these and these start with some lag, which I think I've not mentioned that. I'll quickly mention that in this. I'll go back briefly to relationship and put some describe what lag. I think I've told you about it. I can't remember. So we'll need to look at that. So maybe two activities are starting at the same time. It's like cooking rice and beans. Sometimes you start with the beans. When the beans is about to be done, then you pour the rice. Though they did not start at the same time, but they've started. Maybe you said, okay, I'm cooking beans now, so I'll wait for the beans to cook for like 30 minutes, then I'll pour rice. But so that means the beans did not finish before you start cooking the rice, right? And that is, you can't put that relationship of finish to start. It's going to be start to start with an allowance of 30 minutes, which is called lag. So that is lag. I'll quickly say it. So lag and lead. In Primavera, they call them lag and lead. So lag means positive allowance, like say buffer, allowance between two activities, right? That is lag. Lead means negative buffer. It's not positive, it's negative. Lag is a positive side. Is but lead is when you minus some days from in between. Like if I say lag is A and B as a relationship. So if A is going to start on the 23rd, and I can say, and A is going to take 10 days to finish, and B is going to take 10 days to finish. And we don't want them to do finish to start. We want them, or they will call that relationship start to start with few days lag. We can say A starts on the 22nd, then B will start on the 24th. So it's going to be A start to start with B plus 2 days. But when it comes to lead, which they frown at as well, they don't want you to use negative lag in project. Most times, let me say, they frown at lag. Why they frown at it? Because you can't see it until you dig into the project. Take, for example, people do frown at lag, but sometimes they are, how do you say this? Necessary evil that you need to use, right? But they always frown at it because if I did a program and I put lag into that program, and maybe I left the company or I gave you the schedule, so you might be wondering, if I say A finish to start with B, and I put lag in between them. So you might say, okay, A finishes on the 21st. Why is B starting on the 27th? And it's finished to start. You will expect B to start on the 22nd, isn't it? So you'll be wondering, why is it starting on the 27th, right? So you just be wondering what's happening. Then you start digging until you realize, oh, this is lag. It's got lag into. Why did they put lag? Then I say, okay, the reason why we put lag is because we pour concrete and we expect the concrete to set for another 5 days before we start erecting structure. That's why they put lag. But the best practice in that case, in that scenario, would be
Finish to start.
It's finished to start. That's what I said. Let me explain that again. A and B finish to start. That is the relationship. A is concrete pour, when you pour concrete, and B is concrete set. You want the concrete to set or cure. Now, some people will put pour concrete. No, sorry, I want to put this. A and B. A is concrete pour. B, activity B is erect structure. Right? Let's say that's the activity B. So some people will say, okay, activity A is concrete pour. Finish to start with activity B, erect structure. They will now put lag of 5 days in between them, which I will show you now. They will now put lag of 5 days. That 5 days will now be to allow the concrete that they've poured to set or to cure before they start putting a structure on the foundation which they pour concrete on. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So, but the argument, the best practice would have been, why don't you put an activity in between them called concrete cured or concrete set? So that when I'm reading through, I know I can see where the 5 days is coming from. Because what you would have seen is, because they put a lag in between them, what you would have seen is A finishing on the 27th, then you expect B, if it's 5 days calendar and maybe 27th is on Wednesday, just for argument's sake, you will expect B to start the structure to start the next day. Then you will now see B starting on the 2nd of October or the 2nd of That is where you will now be wondering why. But you look at it, it's finished to start, but A finishes on the 27th. Why is B now starting on the 4th? You understand? But because somebody has put lag in between them, that is why people argue that don't put lag. If you can avoid it, don't put lag. They will
Instead of putting lag, it's better to just put an activity of that.
Yeah, that is the best practice. Some people will now say, okay, I don't want to put activity. I'll put constraint that B should start on or after. You understand? On or after the 28th. You understand? But some people will still frown at that. So that is why the best practice is to put an activity in between. Do you understand that? Does that make sense to you?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. That's the essence of lag. And lead is like you're saying, you can say finish to start plus minus 2 days. So you are saying when A finishes 2 days before A finishes, B starts. You understand the lead now? That's the lead, -2. But the relationship type is still finish to start. But you're finishing to start -2 days. You're saying, okay, A finishes, before you finish, 2 days before you finish, B starts. That is negative lag. Let's use one example in this schedule. Just click on any of the activity that has finish to start relationships. Let's just look at that. Okay, so if you look at, let's use an activity without a point. Let's use the next activity, identify marketing trend. So see where that thing, but that's supposed to start the next day, but I'm just looking for a perfect activity. I know because of this 0.8 is affecting, you can see it should be finished to start, but because of the 0.8 is, so let's leave that 0.8 and let's crack on. Let's just take that. Now, the relationship between these and these is finish to start, right? So you see where lag is, this is lag. You're expecting this to start on the 8th, but because of the 0.0 is starting on the 7th because of the calendar and all that. So you're expecting this to start the next day, but in your case now, it's starting on the same day, but due to that 0.8. So if you put lag of 3 days here, if you type 3 into the bottom, sorry, I thought that was the one driving. If you go to the detail table, lag, the next column, where it says lag, type 3 into it. So what you are saying is, after this date, wait for 3 days before you start the next activities that is finished to start. So you will see, based on the calendar, this might move to the 10th or 9th. Can you schedule? The start of the identify will move now. You can see he's moved. He's looked at the calendar based on maybe if you look at 7th of October, we're using 6 day, what calendar, it depends on the calendar you're using. So it will count 3 days. If you're using, if you've blocked weekend, so it won't count weekend. That's why it's jumping to that, right? Do you understand that now?
Yes, I do.
So if we say minus, if you put minus in front of that, that is lag. If you put minus in front of that 3 days, minus 3 days, put minus, that is what is called lead. You will see this will start before this one finish, despite the fact you'll see. So it's starting on the, so it's taking 3 days. If you look at the calendar, it all depends on the calendar, right? But the concept is lag and lead, where they will always advise you, instead of using lead, just do them start to start, use positive lag instead of lead, right? If you want to achieve the 3rd of October, let it be start to start with some days instead of minusing it with finish to start. Do you understand?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. So if you take the lag off, but some people will just say they don't want lag because you can't see it on the table unless you start digging deep. And lag, you can run a report, or if you have like DCMA or you have like Primavera risk analysis, you can run a report that will show you the health check. But pieces, looking at pieces directly won't give you, there's no column for lag. When I say, okay, pull up the column, you will see the one that has lag. No. Do you understand? So that's why some people frown at using lag. Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes sense.
That is lag and lead. Okay. Any other question?
No, none for now. Thank you.
Okay. Who is gonna share next? Thank you, Daniel. Well done. Good stuff.
Thank you.
Good evening. I'm not at home. I'm just watching. I'm on my way home. These are day.
Okay. Now, who is gonna share? Is that Lekon?
Yes, Zalarikon.
Okay, are you back at home now?
Yes.
Okay. Can you show us what you've done?
Can you
Based
see the
on-
screen?
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Okay. Based on the question you asked us to work on, I played with 3 activities: track laying, which has asterisk there. And when you what I did was I said start on or after. So 16th of October.
Okay.
So, and I fixed the 16th and I
Okay.
scheduled it. So when I scheduled it, the red changed to some of the days on the red on the Gantt chart changed to, is it green? So then after that,
What is your objective? Why did you use the constraint? What do you want to achieve?
Yes, I used it to see if at the end of the day, when I apply it, if there's going to be any impact or any effect. So when what he gave me, the buffer he gave me was that we have some float to play with, and let me just, when I did that, I think he gave me some days track laying. When I applied it, it gave me 3 days. Let me apply again. Give me 3 days then. I hope I have not. Hold on.
That's fine by me. All I want to understand, you getting the concept.
Yes.
Can we put your filter?
Okay, the filter. I did 3, though I screenshot it, but let me restart again. I did for me to
So
be.
don't create. You've done it. So just show us the one you've applied with, because of time.
Yeah, I applied for member because I couldn't. I don't know. I only screenshot it and kept on my Telegram. So, but I don't know if I can quickly go about it again.
Yeah,
So,
let's look at your filter. Just cancel that. What are the name you call them? So let's look for them.
member, this is it. This is one. Member
Yeah.
and all.
Yeah, let's go into it. Let's just apply. No, you can only apply one at a time. It's not that you can only apply one, but I want you to apply one at a time so that we see the effect.
Okay.
But what does that mean to you? The one that you want to apply, what does that mean?
That means I want to see just main ball and indoor activities.
Okay, let's apply that and let's see if we will see. Apply and okay.
So that's it.
Okay, can you scroll down?
That's it.
Okay.
Yes.
Can you hide the rest of the WBS for me, please? Okay.
Yes.
Can you scroll down, please?
I'll scroll.
Okay, good. So can you apply the other two that you've done?
Okay. The other ones.
You untick the one, you untick you tick all activity that would, then
Okay, then this.
Yeah, what do you want to see?
Yeah, I want to, you mentioned where you mentioned all of the following. So I tried doing that to see if anything no, I think, let me apply this first. That's not what I had. Yes, that's all of the following, to see if there's anything that will show or not. So when I applied it, everything was blank.
Yeah, I would disagree with that objective. I don't think when you do all of the following, it will always be blank. Don't have that idea.
Okay.
I know what you're trying to do. I know, because I said I use all of the following. But if you are applying, I said if you want to apply two filters, see, even most people, I'll tell you, they play with filter. Sometimes they play with these all of the following and any of the following. But we've seen that when we are trying to compare two things and we want them to appear, we use any of the following and it works. So all of the following, sometimes you see people, you just use all of the following. Most of the time it doesn't work.
Okay.
Sometimes you can use it, but don't base your filter on that. Base your filter that, okay, if I want to see this, not that I want to see blank. You always want to see something.
Okay.
No project manager will ask you, I want to see blank. You understand? But good effort. Good effort.
Okay, thank you.
So you've take it off by clicking. Is that the third one?
No. Which other one did I?
Well, that's fine, because you've been able to do two. That's okay by me. It shows you know what you're doing. I appreciate that.
All right, thank you.
Good stuff. Well done. Well done.
Thank you.
So is Ade back? What's next? Are you back? Ade?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure she's back.
Daniel, are you leaving the class? Or let me understand, because we're going to the new topic now. Hello, Daniel.
Sorry, I won't be leaving. Just that I'll get the meeting started, and then I will see how I can. But I won't be leaving the class though. I'll be listening in, and then wherever I miss, maybe due to distraction, I'll just rewatch the video. But I'll be here.
Okay, the Dangote Group, right? What's she?
Lalekon.
Lalekon, sorry, because I'm CJ, so that's what. So, are you happy to be the tutor tonight? Because Daniel won't be
No problem.
there. So, and
yeah, again.
Yeah, so you share your screen and go to your Dangote Group.
Okay. I've opened it.
Okay. Now the rules are, if I don't ask you to, can you go to the normal layout that I normally say you should open for me?
The normal layout.
Yeah, the layout I always want, because I've emphasized on that several times. The layout I always want.
Sorry, I can't remember.
Oh. because it's not going to work for me if you can't remember the layout, because I've always said the layout I want, go to your layout and let's see the layouts you've got.
Click on layouts, then open.
That's not your layout. Go to the standard layout that I've told you guys to be using. Can someone tell him the standard layout?
Scroll down to the Olalekan, the normal one. The one without number in front. Let's hope. Yeah.
Is it this one?
So what is the standard layout? I don't want you to ask me that question, say is this, because can you open that and let's see if it's a standard layout? Can you put this is not a standard layout, that because I've seen the table looks standard, but I've told you several times, I've told everyone, because I want to
Sort
use it
by start or finish.
Okay.
because I want to use a layout that now do your Gantt layout, because that's not the layout I told you to be using as standard.
I think it's Le Country. I think this is it.
Okay. So okay, that's the standard layout I want to be using in this reference point in terms of Dangote Group. That's the layout I really want to be seeing. So that has ID, name. Why do you have activity count? That's not the layout. So no, I don't want this layout. I want you to who has the layout? Adi, are you back?
No, I'm still on my way home.
What?
Because why I don't want to tell you, because you were always in the class, so I don't expect us to be looking for the standard layout I've always set, and I don't want to. That's going to be your assignment to go and find out the standard layout. Danny, are you in the class? Are you still in the class?
Yeah, yes, I am.
Can you share your screen?
Okay, let me try share my screen. Okay, yeah. Want to continue?
Let me stop sharing.
Yeah. So find out your layout, the standard layout. You can talk to your colleague and they will give you the standard layout. And I
So
want
here it is.
Good evening, everyone. I hope your days have been well. So yeah.
So there will be some interference now. Okay. So I am going to ask for, because are you going to be available to drive, or should I ask for request? Should I request for
Yes, you can please request. You can please request.
Okay. Sometimes he drops. So okay. Have you given me? Okay. Yeah. So today, what I want to teach you is resource loading. So it means how to resource load, and probably we do cost loading. So when it comes to a project, without resources, people, people or the material, the equipment you're going to use for that project, to execute the project, if they're not available, you can plan your idea. They're not going to work because nobody's going to do it or no equipment to execute it. So that's why your resource is very critical. So I'm working on a project now, which they've asked me. They want us to demonstrate that we've got enough resources to be able to execute the project. We have a nice plan, a nice list of activities, but if we don't have any resource to be able to execute, or if you don't have enough resource to be able to execute that project, we're just wasting our time. So that's why resources are very, very crucial when it comes to projects. And we have 3 types, like I've mentioned earlier on when we started this. I received it. Okay, please, can you mute if you're not talking? Okay. So like I said, who can remind me the 3 type of resource that we've got? Who can remind me the 3 type of resource that we've got?
Machinery or equipment, financial, and human resource.
Okay, thank you. Who else? Who else? Who else can tell me the 3 types of resource that we've got? Okay, we've not been following we've not gone back to the video to study. So we have 3 categories or types of resource. 1, labor. 2, non-labor. 3, material. Okay, the labor are always human beings. Non-labors are equipment, which could be machinery, which could be machines. And the 3rd one is material, which are also called consumables. Something that you cannot, once it's consumed, you cannot reuse them. So the first 2, labor and non-labor, they are reusable. You can hire me today. If I finish your job, if I finish that task, you can ask me to do another task. So I'm reusable. Non-labor, they are reusable. You can bring a machine today, use it for maybe excavation to excavate some rubbles. Tomorrow, you can bring that to excavate another rubbles somewhere else within the same project. Material, most of them are consumables. So you cannot reuse them. Let's say you bought 2 buckets of paint. You used 1. You can't say tomorrow you have 2. You only have 1 left. You can't reuse them. If you've carton of nail, maybe carton of nail, 80 pieces in each of them. And today, you use 40. Tomorrow, you can't say you have 160. You only have 120 left. They're not reusable. You can't say, oh, I'll reuse the one that I've used. So that's why they are called labor, non-labor, and material, which is consumables. So in each project, you have these 3 always in a project. You will need them. So, and labor can be measured, the performance or the unit to measure labor could be in hours, right? So, and they call it man hour. right? And the non-labor could be in hours as well. They can say, I'm renting your Caterpillar for a day. We will now say, okay, our day is 9 hours. So we charge you per hour £100. That's £900 because you are renting it for, or they might say, well, is that per hour? That's what we charge. If you want to rent it over 24 hours, we're going to charge you 2,400 because we charge £100 an hour. And if you're going to have my man to work on your job for 8 hours, we'll charge £200 per hour. So you're going to pay us 1,600. So we charge based on man hour. And when it comes to material, they can say, okay, we do this in units or whatever measurement. If you're saying I'm buying, so we are Cummins that supply diesel, or we are BP or Total that supply petrols or diesel for your generator. So we supply our diesel per liter. This is how much it will cost you per liter. So they have units of measurement, the three of them, right? So when it comes to resource, so you bidded for a job, you wanted to do a job, we plan it out. You must have the type of resource for the task you want to be able to achieve. And you must have not just resource, you must have the resource that has the skill set to be able to execute that job. You can't go and bring a junkie to the theater room to operate on human being and say, yeah, he's human being. Yeah, he can go and do it because he's a resource, he's human being. He doesn't have the skill set. You have to bring maybe a neurosurgeon. You can't bring a general practice guy that is not a neurosurgeon to come and operate on someone's brain. Maybe that person has got a brain tumor. And you said, okay, let me go and bring a general GP that hasn't got that specialty to come and do the job. So you need someone that has that skill set, not just anyone. So, and this resource must be available to be used for that particular thing at that particular time. So that is that basic basic overview of having the resource. Any questions so far? So when it comes to PCs, or when it comes to any planning, your company have this resource. Your company has what is called resource pool. Resource pool is just a database where you put all your resources, just like a basket. We have all my resources. I have, okay, I'm a contractor, building contractor. I have electricians, I have welder, I have welder will be mechanical, anything putting something together, joining some pipes, and that's mechanical. I have a plumber, I have laborers, all those. I have engineers that do the design. So I have a project manager. All these are going to be in a resource basket. However, if you listen to me, I've been mentioning trade names. So when you said trade names are the discipline names, I've been saying I have PMs. Let's say I have 3 PMs. I have 3 electricians. I have 4 mechanical engineer. I have 3 electrical engineer. I have some design engineer. I have architect, and all that. So When you use that name, they are called trade name or roles or disciplines. So that is at that level, they call trade names, rules, or discipline. So because you are mentioning their title, their discipline name. So, but when it now comes to, oh, John is an electrician, Tayo is a plumber, Daniel is a mechanical engineer. So you are now digging down to name resource. Named resource. That's what you are now saying. You are not talking about mechanical engineer, I have mechanical engineer. You are not talking, John is a mechanical engineer. John and David, they are mechanical engineer. Ade and Daniel, they are electrical engineers. So you can assign at role level, if you don't know the actual person that you want to assign to that job at the beginning. You have pool of resource, but you're just looking at that job. Okay, Daniel is working on a project now. That project, we expect Daniel to finish on that project and come and start this. However, the project has got some complications. We don't know for now, we're still dragging it. We don't know when that project and the task we're giving Daniel on project B is going to finish. Tentatively, let's put, because Daniel is a design engineer. And we've got a task in project A that needs a design engineer. Right. Daniel, we can say, okay, project A, let's put design engineer as a role, but we're not sure if Daniel or Ade is the one that we assign to this. For now, let's just put a blank name, a placeholder. See, oh, we're gonna need a design engineer to do this job, but we don't know yet. We don't know the named resource that we're gonna assign. So you can do that at the beginning of a project when you are planning it out. During execution phase, you know, remember the project life cycle, you go through the initiation, planning. At execution phase, maybe Jide or Olalekon is a team lead for the design engineer. Lekon will now decide if during the execution, just before execution, Lekon will now it will decide who is free, one, who is available, one, and who has the best skill set to do that job. Perhaps Ade, as a design engineer, might be a graduate design engineer, but Daniel could be maybe over 5 years experienced design engineer. And looking at the task, maybe the task is a bit complicated for Ade to take. So Lekon will now decide, oh, who is available? Who could I use? Okay, based on the complexity of this task, though Ade could start, but I want Daniel to take over to make sure see it finish. Or Ade could start and Daniel will review it and correct anything. Or let me take Ade to a more simpler job that we've got. You know, your company might be running 4 or 5 jobs at the same time, project at the same time. Let me take Ade to that. Let me bring Daniel to work on this complex. So that is how it works in real life. And in all that, it has a cost to it because Ade has got 5 years experience. They might, and Daniel has got 5 years experience. They might call Daniel a senior design engineer, while Ade will be design engineer. So the prices, their rate in terms of how much Ade will earn per hour when they are bidding for the job will be different from what Ade will be earning. So if they're bidding for the job, they must say Ade, Daniel, £200 an hour, Ade, £120 an hour. And Daniel, if he's doing job, it will take 5 days. But if Ade is doing the same job, it will take Ade 7 days or 10 days. They will now look, okay, which one do you want to get? We want to get Daniel because he will do a perfect job within 5 days. So we are time bound. We need somebody. Then they will pay your company. It's not that you will get that money, that £200 per hour. It might be your money. There might be £30 an hour by the time they pay you monthly salary, especially if you're a permanent staff. So your company overhead and all that goes into the remaining 170, and your company make profit and all that. That's the way, that's the overview how they do it. So let's go to the software and get something done. Now, when you go into a company and an organization, if you are lucky that someone has come before you as a planner and has pulled all these resource, pull all this resource pool together, you have already a resource pool that has all your resource, and they've told you what resource occurs during the initiation phase. They would have told you who is going to be doing what is going to be doing what department is going to be doing what. If it's a mechanical WBS or mechanical task, they will assign mechanical engineer. If it's a electric, they will assign electrical engineer. If you're different discipline, they will assign those discipline to those jobs. So in that regards, they would have you will have a pool. And to get there are 2 ways to get there in pieces. So one, if you want to get to resource, where the resource pool are, if they've got loads of, if they've created resource, you will see them there. If they've not created it, it's going to be blank. Then you need to create those resource. So to go there, one, if you look at this man, this one, if you click on, if you hover it, I think it should bring out resource. So I don't know why it's not doing that. But if you click on this man, what is wrong? You can see it says resources, right? If you click on it, it takes you here. Now, it tells you this current project. If you see display current project resource, we've not assigned any resource to this project, so that is why it's blank. But if you go to your display and drop this down and say, and go to group by, filter by, the filter bar will give you options. So you can see the man is staying with current project resource. We've not assigned any current project resource to it. That is why it's blank. If we say active, all active, we've not assigned, we've not opened any project that is saying all active, but it will tell you that all the resource that has been created that are using have been, or that they are using on other projects. It will show you everything, and that is why you've seen all these guys. Someone, because PCs has given you dummy project to play around with, so they've created someone in PCs, they've created all these resources. That's why you have all these resources. And I'll quickly explain. And if you look at it, it's like our table that has columns, right? It has columns. So what the columns, what is important, the ID is important, resource ID, resource name, like our this thing, the resource type. Now, if you look at all these, they're humans. They're humans. Operator is human. You can see all these are labor. You know, I told you type of resource. You can see this one is a material. So if you click on any of these, any of the existing, we will create ours, but let's click on any of these existing. Let's say labor. We can come here like the way we do our calendar. Click here, it will give us drop down menu. So if you create, if you want to turn it to material, if you want to turn it to not labor, you can do that, right? Let's just take HVAC. Let's turn it to non-labor. It will give us, a resource type cannot be changed because the resource is currently assigned to one or more projects. Because he's being active, he's in use. You cannot change it when it's in use. But if you create a new one, you can decide to give it, you can decide to say, I want it labor, non-labor, or material. But once you've assigned it to something, you won't be able to change the status or the type of resource it is. Do we all understand that? Any question? No question. So the next one, it says unit of measures. You know, I told you, you could measure it. If you click here, it would, so maybe because it's labor. So you could define your unit of labor to be, unit of measure to be, okay, man hour, how many hours? Like, if you don't, that's fine because it's active. But we'll create hours. Primary rules, they call this trade, like I said to you, they just put it trade. You can, if you can create like something called role, which I've explained to you. You can say, this guy, if you've created a role, I will show you how to do that. If you created the role, you can say this guy, and let me just come out of this. Let's see. Okay, like they said, this guy, the role is an engineer, but let's just look for like this guy is the name of a person, right? Let me find one that hasn't got this is Glenn, no, VP development, that's not a role. Let me find something that is somebody that hasn't got, so okay, take for example, they said this is a developer. So because if it's saying current project rules, now if I show all rules, you will see them here. You can let me just expand this so that you see all the rules that someone has created. So you can say this guy, instead of calling him a developer, you can say he's a foreman. You just click on the role name, then you assign it. You will say it will change to foreman. That Ian Vincent is a foreman, is not a developer. So that is a trade name. You can say Ian Vincent, if you have mechanical engineer, it's an electrical engineer. You just assign it. So it depends on what you want to name your resource. And the last one, it said default unit part-time. This is showing their capacity per day in hours. That is, Ian Vincent can only work 8 hours a day. That is the capacity, maybe 9 to 5:30 or 8:30 to 5:30, whatever, 8 hours in a day. If you look at Dan Sharp, he can only work 6 hours a day. That is what they're saying. So if you look at these Abraham Molly, he can only work 4 hours in a day. So your default unit part-time is your capacity per that day. And this is because you're using because it's measured, your duration is measured in days, not in week. If you put 4, if your duration is measured in week, you will just say 4/week. That means that we can only work 4 hours, depending on your definition, you can only work 4 hours per week. But we are using days as our duration, as you can see here. Our duration is in days. So that is one way to get into you click on this man and it takes you, you make sure if you haven't got any assigned project, like if he's showing you current project, it will be blank. You can either put it on, filter by all resource. It's going to show you the same thing. Active and all resource, it will show you the same thing, right? So what we're going to do is to create our own resource. Let's assume that this is blank. They gave you, you are the first project planner the company has, and the company has said, we have this number of people, mechanical, we have Adi, boss, let's just create an electrician, we have John, the ball, Mark. So you want to create your own resource for that project. Let's say we want to create resource for Dangote project now. So that is the first way. Or you go through here. Let's go back to, or you go on your enterprise, click on resource, it will take you to the same place. So now you use this, so you go to your enterprise and do that. So the next thing, what we want to do is to add our own resource, right? All right, something. So to add resource, there are two ways, like you're adding activities. It's the same process. Either right click and click on add. You right click anywhere you want. So if I want to create a resource here now, you right click. Remember, we want to use the way we create activities and WBS here. We will use the same, we'll use those similar tasks. Just see what I'm doing now. So let's come to the last bit. Let's say we want to add resource. You can add it anywhere if it's under anything, but we want to create resource for Dangote now. You right click, you click on add resource, add. Then it will give you this guy. However, you remember WBS or EPS, we don't want it to be under material because it's showing, if we click on material, it's going to swallow it. So, but we don't want it to be under material. So we will click on it and I'll dent it. Is it indent or whatever? Indent or outdent. So you click on it. So let's name it Dangote resource. So the ID will always be an abbreviation. Let's click on the ID side, which is here. Let's say we call it DGR. That's Dangote resource. So we call it Dangote resources. That's the name we will call it. We ignore these and just put it label. That's just because what we want to do. So under Dangote, we want to add some resource. So you can click on Dangote and you can come here, click on plus. It's the same thing what we've done. It's just going to take you all through these. So let's walk through the wizard. So whichever way you want to do it. So what name? Let's say, you remember ID are always unique. So under Dangote, let's say we want to create mechanical, MEC, let's call it MECH. Let's call it mechanical, name mechanical. So go to next. It will ask you, is it people? Is it somebody or non-labor or material? We just say, okay, because they are engineers, so we leave it at people. And you go to the next. We'll ask you, how much was the price unit per hour will this person collect? What's the price unit per hour will this person collect? So this is, let me just bring it together. I'm giving you costing now. We're doing both resource and costing. We want to build cost. So let's say this guy will earn £50 an hour. $50 an hour. Let's say, because the unit now, because I didn't change the setting to pounds, so 50. It's going to earn $50 an hour, right? Now, default unit part-time. I said the default unit part-time is 8 hours a day. So, say the maximum 8 hours a day. That's what the default. The maximum unit part-time means what is the maximum of that resource that you've got. So you could have 2 mechanical engineer, 3 mechanical engineer, 4 mechanical engineer. So let me tap your brain here. If I have 2 mechanical engineers, what would be the maximum unit part-time?
That would be 16.
Fantastic. Well done. Does anybody disagree with us? Nobody. So your maximum will be 16. So that means you have 2 mechanical engineers. So you go to next. If you want to add your phone number, but they don't normally do this, just leave that. If they have, you can put it. You can put 078, whatever, 088, C576, whatever. You can put it there. Then you can put whatever name you want to put to maybe and put it, but you don't normally do that, to be honest. Now, they will say, do you want to assign a role? Yeah, maybe we want to call it an engineer. Maybe we've created a role here. We can call it mechanical engineer, assign that. Then, next. So select an existing calendar. We don't want to create a new calendar because you can create a calendar if that guy is a consultant, maybe for 5 days a week, you only work 1 day a week. So you can create a new calendar and just block out the rest of the week and leave it. Maybe he said, oh, I only come to your work. All the mechanical engineer will only come 1 day in a week. Then you create a calendar. But now we want to use the existing calendar that they'll be working. So this is the existing calendar type. Let's use maybe 5x10 assign. So we have the calendar there. They'll be working 5 days a week, 10 hours. Next, auto compute actuaries, we want to maintain that once we've progressed, it will auto compute it. Then congratulations, bank. You can see we finished that. Right? Now, it's done something which is funny here. Just based that on, I'll quickly check that. Why he's done that? I've asked him to put 16 hours. I don't know why he's done that. Default, it's 8 hours. So no why he's done that. That should be. So sometimes if it does that, make sure you come here, make sure you put the right. So default unit part-time. So these are columns, so you can add maximum unit part-time as well. You just come here, right click, go to columns like you normally do. Here you go to customize. Then you will find all the columns. I think the unit part-time are under general. So you look for maximum unit part-time, then you just drag it and drop it here. So you have the default, then you have the maximum. You have capacity per day is 8 hours, but you have 2 mechanical engineers, right? So the 2 mechanical engineers, you can go further, say, okay. You can do insert enter as well. So you right click, add, and add. So you have 2 mechanical engineers. So you put them on the same level. So, but they are under mechanical engineer. You can see if I do this, it will disappear. they are under mechanical engineer. Let's see. Adi, what's your last name?
Jerindi.
Okay. Let's say AHO, that's your abbreviation, the mechanical engineer. Thank God there's no AHO because he would have rejected it. Adi or Jerindi. So now he said, oh, Adi is a laborer, so he's a mechanical engineer. We can go and find mechanical engineer that is his role. So now make sure you go back because what is done right here. Can somebody tell me what is done right there?
10 hours per day.
Thank you. It's just picked up our calendar. That's what is done. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna come back here, put a 10. Because when we're doing this, he hasn't put, you can realize we didn't add the calendar, but when we've changed the calendar, so that means the maximum we have 20. Sorry, you'll change it here, not there, because it won't take it. The maximum unit per time, just change it to 20. So you have 20, that means you have 2 mechanical engineers, each of them 10 hours. Does that make sense? So Daniel, what's your last name?
Adewusi.
Okay, Daniel. Sorry. DA. Let's see if there's no DA. Oh, great. Daniel. Adewusi. So we've got Daniel Adewusi. Daniel is a mechanical engineer. Mechanical engineer. So we've done for that. So let's go and do others. Let's add electrical engineer. Electrical, you just click on add. Because we don't want it to be under mechanical, we're gonna outdent it to be the same level with mechanical, not with the same level with anything under mechanical. So we call these elect. Okay. You can see if we use EE, let me just use EE. I believe EE would have been taken. Oh, good. It's not taken. So electrical engineer, let's see. Electrical engineer. So we have, let's say we have one electrical engineer still adopting the calendar, which is 10 days. So let's say this is now electrical engineer. Let's now say we had Olalekan, OM, say OM. So Olalekan. Sorry if I misspell your name. I'm right. Quali. So Olalekan is an electrical engineer. So we only have one electrical engineer, which is Olalekan. Right. So that's why we don't have 20 here. So let's add another discipline. Let's go back. We want it to be at the same level. Let's add piping engineer. Civil. civils. Let's see. Most company they call it C and S. Call it civils and structures. So civils and structural engineer. Structural engineer. Don't know if somebody has created role for that. Let's see if somebody has got a role. If not, you can create a role for that. You just click on role and do the same thing like this. Let's look for civils and structures. Let me see. So there's no civil and structures. If you go to role, then you can go and you go the same. Sorry, I'm jumping. The same way you've gone for resource, just go for enterprise roles. Then you come here, just click on add. Maybe under here, you just add a role. Let's say, let's indent it and call it CNS. Call the names. No, I don't want it to be under here, that's one. CNS, call the name civil structural engineer. So you just close it. So by the time you come here, you should be able to find civils and structure. And if you're looking for it, you can just type the first name, let's say civils and structure. You can see civils and structure. So just apply it. That's it there. We've got civils and structure. It's adopted the calendar capacity. That's what it's done. So do we all understand how to create resource now? So civils and structure, let's just put a named resource under it. Where's do I don't know the last name of Fortune? So who else is on this call that we've not? Okay, let me see. Fortune, I don't know his last name. Let's just leave it as F and call it Fortune. So how do I? Fortune. So, and let's add someone has I don't know the last name of GD.
Jide Banwo.
Oh, Jide Banwo, okay. JB. GD. So now we've added label, right? Same thing. Okay, these guys, civils and structure guys. We just type C, then it will bring us all the subject that start with C. We do the same civils and structure. What time is it? Civils and structure. Type C to these. Civils and structure. Just bear with me 1 minute. Just bear with me one second. Sorry, unfortunately, I'm an Arsenal fan. Sorry, it's not. I'm not saying unfortunately. But we are playing today, so I just went to see the scores. Otherwise, my mind will be there. Okay, so Jide is a civil engineer. So let's add some non-labor there. It's the same thing. You just go here, add let's say we want some, make sure he's under the same, is aligned with the role name. Let's see, we need machines. Let's call it match. So here you can drop down and change it to non-label. That's what we want. The message still is just, it will still adopt the same calendar, because if a man is operating a machine, that machine, but you can see the logo has changed from human being to machine, to some pulleys that has some tooth. Is it teeth or tooth? What's the plural of teeth? Which one? Don't mind me. I'm from Nigeria, typical Yoruba man. So you have these, and where is it? So you have machine that you can see. You can add this machine, add it. Say this machine is a digger. Come here. Put digger here. So let's add one more. Put it at the same level with the digger. With the excavator. Excavator. So, or you can abbreviate it, or you can choose the same, because they're not common. So you can use the same thing and call it excavator. Excavator. So excavator is non-label. Oh, why is this jumping? Come on. So then you can have consumables. Just add it the same way. Add it, put it at the same level. All of them are under Dangote at the same level. This time around, material or supply. You can call it supply, you can call it material. Supply is call it material. Material. So come here, we'll change it. Drop it down to material. Changing the resource type to material, we remove all the rows here. So the resource, clear it over time. Yeah, because it's material, right? It's material, right? So now material doesn't have rules, so it's just material. Then you come here, you had, let's call this one paint. The value and price. So because it's unique, they've used it. So we can't use paint. So that's why it's giving the paint one. Now let's call it let's paint. Let's see if he's gonna take it paint. Yeah, it's take paints. So paints. So it's a material, right? So you can use the unit of measure of paint. I don't know. We can use the easiest cubic. No. No, we can't use. Sorry.
Can you use tons?
Tons of paint.
Yeah. What do you think?
Okay. So okay, that's fine. But there's a way to add it. Add whatever you want to add to it. So let me think I remember that way. So let me just cancel this. If I remember where it is. All right, I've forgotten where it is. You know, you don't know everything. Let's see if it's admin. So here, Let me go back. Go to admin, go to categories, admin categories, then you go to unit of measure. Then you can have unit liters or drums. You can use whatever you want to use, drums. Unit of measure in liter. That could be when you close that, we should have it here. Liter. So you just sign it. So we have all the resource that we need now. So you've created a pool of resource, like Dangote will swallow everything. So you expand Dangote, you have everything. So you have all these resource that you want to use, right? Now, the next step is to go into your activity. Then you now pick those activities that you want to add this resource to. Which resource is going to be doing what and when. So let me just add a column. What have I done? I've just had it. You can see I won't do that. To undo, you just come here, you just undo what you've done. So you see, I think you had a column that says resource. I know where it is. Sorry, it's in list, not in. If you don't know, you can just find it yourself. So if I drop it here, I have my resource column here. And as you can see, nothing is here yet until I start adding resource. And if you come to the detail table, you will see the tab resources. If you don't have it, right click, go to customize and add it. So I will change, because we are in relationships now on that tab, I will change it to resource is blank. So and remember, is another project, it's another interview questions. I have a milestone and I have two resources. How do I add two resources? How do I add a resource to a milestone in Primavera? Your answer is as good as said. You cannot add a resource to a milestone. Milestone will not accept resource because it's not doing anything. It's just the duration is 0. So you cannot assign resource to a milestone. So that is the answer. So now, but if you click on any activity that has duration, if I click on milestone, you can see everywhere is blank. But if I click on activity that is not milestone, all of them came alive. So you cannot add a resource because it won't even give you the options to add. So if you want to add a resource, you click on that activity you want to add a resource. Why am I in marketing? Please, am I in Lagos? Where am I? I want to go to Dangote. Can you? Oh, sorry. That's fine. It doesn't matter. So you can create a resource. So if because I want to be in Dangote group, so I would open Dangote. Okay, I mean Dangote now. Good. You cannot add, it's grayed out. So you click on digging out. So we want to add a resource. What we will do is to click on add resource at the detail table. You click on the activity first, you click on add resource at the detail table. It will take you here. Then you expand it. We will normally expand for you to be able to see it. So yeah, we are looking for something. We just want to apply resource, but we know we have a digger. So if you come to this search and type dig, so it will take you to digger. All you need to do is a non-label, you add bank, right? So what he would do, let me just explain what it's going to do. So you have the name resource, the ID name as digger here. The type is non-label. Right, let me just expand this. The type is non-label. The default unit part-time or the remaining unit part-time is the same thing as the remaining unit part-time is the same thing as the default unit part-time. So let me just expand everything so that you see all the headings. So the original lag, we don't have a lag. We don't put, there's no lag between it. And the start date is there. The finish date is there. The budgeted unit. What is done is, okay, if we're going to dig out for 2 days and per day is 10 hours, what is done is just going to multiply these and give you this and give you the 20. The actual regular units, it might not be regular units. This could be, what's another name for budgeted? Planned unit in your is the same thing. Planned and budgeted units is the same thing. In your PCs, it might be planned, but here it's same budgeted, doesn't matter, it's the same thing. So the actual regular unit, but this, it might say the actual unit in your own, that means you've not actual means how much have you spent out of what you budgeted. You budgeted 20, have you spent any? No, we've not executed, we're just planning it. So we've not spent any, that is why it's 0. The remaining early unit, what will it remain? Because we've not spent anything, it will remain what we've budgeted for, because we've not spent out of it. Those are the columns you will find here. So we can say, you can apply as you have a digger, we can find an operator. Let's say we had an operator to it. Operator, somebody that will operate the digger. So we just assign it. So you have 2 people that would be doing this. But because you can see he's not giving us budgeted because he's not using our calendar. So we'll just take this out so that it doesn't confuse us. So because he's not using our calendar, he's not putting anything there. So don't let us use this. Yes, check it out. Oh, I've not. So that's a mistake. So we've only got our own guys there. Let's say we say, let's just assume that Daniel is an operator. Daniel is an operator. You can see he's using our calendar. He said Daniel is going to spend 20 hours on that, which is 2 days. So then if you go to, you don't need to close this if you are still assigning. If you go here, you can click on the excavation. We have an excavator. Let's see our excavator, our own excavator, that is our excavator. Let's assume Ade is an operator. She can operate excavator. So we add Ade. So you can add as many provided and if you look at this, it's gone to 60. Why is it gone to 60? Who can tell us? Why is the budgeted unit 60? Who can tell us why the budgeted unit is 60? Okay, we don't have much time now. I said, your capacity per day is 10 hours. How many days are you spending to do the job? It's 6 hours, 6 days. So 10 times 6 will give you 60 hours, isn't it? So if you go to the next one, if you are assigned Ade there, why is it saying 500? That's a question. What happened to Ade? I've assigned Ade You can see what it's giving me, say 12,000. So I need to go and investigate what are the default per unit is. So now, did I assign Hardy here as well? What's going on? Hardy is giving me the right thing here. Why is Hardy, when I came here, giving me this? To be honest, I do not know, and I need to find out. Because he's multiplied these by these to give me these. Why? Let me go and find, do I have two Hardys? No. So I will go and find out what is wrong here. First, I will take it out. To take it out here, I'll take Hardy out. You just click on, to assign it, you put this. To take it out, you do this. So you click on the red cross, then it will take Hardy. Then, okay, yeah, I want to take Hardy out. So I'll assign Hardy again because I don't know what's going wrong. Yeah, it works. Sometimes, you know, computer could be tired and do some stupid things. So it works. And what has it done? Multiply these by 4, giving you 40 hours. It's just going to multiply. Let's go here and put Jide here. Jide. We assign Jide to these. What is done? 10 times 12. It's giving 120 hours. That's how to assign resources, right? That's how to assign resources. Any questions so far? And you can see them here. You can see those resources that we've assigned here, right? So let me quickly go back to that resource pool and our resource, let's say Ade is earning £40 an hour. Daniel, no partial, I'm just doing this at random. Don't say I'm belittling you, putting some money. Let's say, what am I doing? Yeah, you come to their rate, £80 per hour. Jide, 60. Oh, shit. Sorry, 31. So this Jide is earning £60 an hour, $60 an hour. Excavator, to rent excavator is $50 an hour. To rent digger, so excavator also $40 an hour. So you put their standard rate across. So I put Lekon has got $80 a day, Daniel, then Ade, then excavator. So you can put what the rate per hour there. So if we go back to the program and we pull out another column, right, that says you go to the cost. If you come here, then you go to budgeted labor cost. We will open both budgeted labor costs because we've added labor and non-labor, isn't it? We'll go and look for budgeted labor. Oh, why is it? So we'll expand it so that we can see. I'll go to budgeted labor costs. Or we budget for that labor. So budgeted labor cost. Why is this moving? Oh, this thing is playing up. Okay, I got you. Budgeted labor cost. And we want to do budgeted non-labor cost. Those are the two type of resource we've added to this. these are the columns now. We have budgeted labor cost and non-budgeted labor cost. That should have given me something. Let me refresh it. Shouldn't. So computer, they're just funny. So they're just funny sometimes. So if I like, let's take, it should give me how much GDA will cost us here. So if it doesn't, then let's do something. Let's take GDA off and reassign GDA. Because computer sometimes, let's take GDA off. We remove GDA here, remove GDA. Let's assign GDA again. Same GDA. GDA. Wow, it's giving us GDA. So sometimes if he does that, you just take that resource off, you reassign. Sometimes some people will argue, which I've tried again, some people will argue that, oh, because you did not put them, you did not do the costing first before you added the resource. That's why you didn't get that. Please, if you don't mind, just stay for extra 5 minutes. Are we okay for extra 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. So you just pre-added. So here, and what is done is, because GDA is, I think, £80 an hour, right? If GDA is £80 an hour, and it's going to spend 120, you just multiply. Or GDA is £60 an hour. How much is GDA? We can check it. I think we just put the budgeted the cost here so that we can see how much budgeted cost. Let's put it somewhere. Let's put it here. So we know GDA is, that's the budgeted cost, the total cost. I'm looking for the budgeted. So we can get it here, then let's see how much is GDA. GDA cost is £60 an hour. If you multiply 60 by 120, if we go down, if we go back to that, if you multiply £60, it hangs £60 an hour. If you multiply 60 by 120, it's going to give you 720 straight away, 7,200. That's what GDA. And the same thing, you do that, you take these adding off. If it's not working, you can refresh, you can now try that again. So we can re-add ADE. That's ADE, then ADE, that's what ADE hangs, whatever ADE hangs, multiplied by 40. That's why it's giving us this. And if you can look at it, it's giving us the total labor cost. That's up to, because ADE will cost us this and GDA will cost us this. That's the total you see at the top. Then let's add, we know excavation, we can take that off and re-add both of them. Take both of them off. It's ADE and excavator. Then we can see assign ADE, then assign excavator. Then if you notice, it's giving us how much ADE will cost, and it's giving us how much the excavator will cost, because we've said excavator will cost us the same amount ADE will cost us, which we can find out here. Excavator, £40, ADE, £40, $40. Why do I keep saying? So that's how it works. So you can see both. Any questions so far? Okay, your assignment. use the Dangote project. Create a separate resource pool for Dangote. I don't want to use, well, I think you've only got, okay, I don't want you to use the name. Well, you populate it with whatever name you want or whatever rule you want. Once you've populated it, give each resource a rate, different rate, and assign them to all the activities. Use your discretion. I don't want to see excavator where I don't want you to assign the excavator to laying bricks because excavator cannot lay bricks. So I want us to be practical. So do we all get my assignment? Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. See you on Monday. I think we would. Then try and start building your CV. And the way you can build it is go to job sites like JobServe or LinkedIn or all these job sites, type project planner, and you will see all the description of what they do. So you can get a Word document, you copy all those that, then you can take them verbatim, but you just mix them, then you use it to create a role, right? So that's the way to create a CV. Then you make sure. Can we stop recording?
Oh, sorry. Yep. Hold on.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah, I'm trying to stop recording.